retained by defense counsel in today's case?
Yes, I was.
You were paid $350 per hour for your report?
Correct. I was paid $350 per hour. I spent 20 hours analyzing the case, so that came to $7,000, and I was paid $12,000 trial fee to testify, totaling $19,000.
So just to be clear, you're getting paid $19,000 for your work in today's case.
That's the math I just did, counsel. Yes.
Well, let's move on. Now, you're aware that osteogenesis imperfecta is a genetic orthopedic disease.
Yes. Usually it can be diagnosed from infancy to early childhood, depending on the conditions of the child at birth, moving into adolescence.
No, you're not board certified in genetics, are you?
No, I'm a forensic pathologist, but part of that is being intimately familiar with medical conditions that can lead to death, osteogenesis imperfecta being a leading one of those.
Well, you're not board certified in orthopedics, are you?
No, I'm not board certified in orthopedics.
And to be clear, you're not a specialist in OI.
No, and there's absolutely no need for me to be a specialist in OI to assess how it impacted Parker Page's death.
Well, we'll get into the impact of Parker Page's death, but let's be clear. You did not examine Parker Page's body.
The state did not allow me to examine Parker Page's body now.
And you did not speak with Miss Ryder, who was on the trail with Parker that day.
I can't be certain as to what happened on that day. However, no, I did not speak to Mrs. Ryder.
Now, I want to move on to some things you said on direct examination. You talked a lot about a bruise on Parker Page's clavicle, but Dr. Lopez, you didn't examine that bruise, did you?
No, like I said, I relied on the facts and data offered through Dr. Quincy's report, which was sufficient to draw my conclusions.
You move the witness chair over there, you move over there, so that you're not blocking the fence. You just pick up and move it right over there. Thank you. Please proceed.
And once again, you talked about how the bruise is miscolored and Dr. Quincy did not put that in, but you were never able to examine the color yourself, were you?
Dr. Quincy noted that this bruise was a different color than the rest of the bruises, and therefore must have occurred before the time of death. And like I stated earlier, that simply is not sound science. That is not a widely accepted practice in our field.
Now I want to move on to the time of death, Dr. Lopez. You're aware that Dr. Quincy used the standard alba mortis formula in the field.
Certainly, which would have worked excellent in a laboratory setting, but simply can't be applied in today's case.
Well, Dr. Lopez, you did not apply a formula for today's case, did you?
Yes, I did. We looked at it right here, factoring age, medical history, and environmental conditions. We know that Parker Page's rigor mortis would have taken approximately 5.5 hours less than the standard rigor mortis time.
Well, Dr. Lopez, you based that off of Dr. Quincy's time of death approximation, correct?
No, I based that on the time that Parker Page's rigor mortis was observed, which was 5:45 p.m. on July 15th, and at that point, rigor mortis had passed.
Well, let's go into rigor mortis. Now, you stated that the outdoor temperature affects the rate of rigor mortis, correct?
Yes, the average temperature that we learned was between 93 and 95 degrees, which would have dramatically accelerated rigor mortis.
Well, Dr. Lopez, actually, the outdoor temperature only directly affects glycolysis, correct?
Correct. Glycolysis is part of the metabolic breakdown that the body goes through in the rigor mortis process. That's the primary driver of rigor and also the primary driver of the loss of rigor.
So the rate of rigor mortis is affected indirectly by glycolysis, right?
That is absolutely incorrect, counsel. The rate of rigor mortis is directly affected by the rate of glycolysis.
Well, Dr. Lopez, you said that glycolysis is a part of the breakdown of the rate of rigor mortis.
Glycolysis is the primary driver of rigor mortis. It accounts for approximately 94% of the rigor mortis process.
Well, let's move on. So you stated that rigor mortis was affected by the heat of the environment, but Dr. Lopez, again, there's no formula on how exactly the rate was increased by the outdoor temperature.
We know that at 80 degrees Fahrenheit, the rate of glycolysis is doubled. Subsequent to that, we see a diminishing curve over the top, and being between 93 and 95 degrees would have multiplied the rate of glycolysis by approximately 2.3.
Well, Dr. Lopez, I believe after 86 degrees Fahrenheit is when the rate doubles, am I correct?
Yes.
Now, lastly, I want to go more into rigor mortis. So again, you didn't use a formula to factor in how much the rate was increased. You can only tell us today that it is likely that the rate was increased by the outdoor temperature.
No, I'm certain that the rate was increased by the outdoor temperature. That's science. It was deterministic, not probabilistic.
Well, Dr. Lopez, you can only tell us that it is likely that the rate was dramatically increased by the outdoor temperature. Am I correct?
Absolutely not. The rate was certainly increased by the outdoor temperature. It's deterministic.
Well, Dr. Lopez, I know the rate was increased, but I'm asking you, significantly increased. You cannot tell us for sure, can you?
Yes.
No further questions, Dr. Lopez.
Sorry, if you would like.
No, Your Honor,